Welcome to RT1 Lesson 6. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to use the distance formula and you will be able to use the formula for a circle. Okay, let's start by talking about the distance formula. We can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance on a graph. So let's say we have 2 points, a point here and a point here. This first point is at 0, 0, and our next point is at 2, 3. And we want to find the distance between those points. Okay, we can actually create a right triangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to go along the x, and that actually shows us the change in the x values. Remember that triangle there means change? Then we can look at the vertical distance, which actually shows us the change in y values. And we can use the Pythagorean theorem and this idea as to how the x and the y values are changing to find the distance. Because we have a right triangle here, and we know Pythagorean theorem says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We can actually derive the distance formula and understand it at a much deeper level. Yeah, it's easy to memorize a formula, but in a couple of years, you may have that formula, you may have forgotten it. So if you really understand where the formula comes from, I believe that even in a couple of years, you'll remember or have a better likelihood of remembering how to find the distance of these points because you have that deep mathematical understanding. So here, I'm going to label the parts of my triangle. We have a leg, let's call that A, and let's call the other leg B, and let's call this distance C, okay? And that's the distance that we want to find. So we're going to give that another letter of D just for distance. So we're going to say that distance squared is equal to A squared, which we know A is our change in x squared, plus our b squared, which we called our b the same thing as our change in y squared. So we have our d squared again. Our change in y is how those y values are changing, or we can call that y2 minus y1 squared. We'll add that to, we set our change in x. Those are how our x values are changing. So x2 minus our x1 squared. Some students get really concerned and always ask which one is x1 and which one is x2. All that matters is that you're being consistent. You pick one of the points to be your number 1, so your x1, your y1, and you pick the other point to be your x2, your y2. As long as you're consistent, it's just fine. This is truly where the distance formula comes from, which brings us to our distance formula. What we found on that last slide, that was that d squared equals change in x, or x2 minus x1 squared, plus our change in y, y2 minus y1 squared. But instead of having d squared, right, we just want the distance. We don't want the distance squared, so we need to square root both sides. And that's truly where our distance formula comes from. And if you want a fun song to help you remember or a rhyme, go ahead and use this to help you remember the distance formula, the distance song. You'll subtract the x's and the y's, then square them and add them up. Just take the square root, and that's the distance of the line. So let's now take a look at some examples. Our first example here, find the distance between these 2 points. So if we remember our distance formula, we're going to take the square root. We need to do the change in x's, so x2 minus x1 squared, plus y2 minus y1 squared. I like to label my points. Let's call this point 1, so x1 and y1. Then we have x2 and y2. That just helps me when I go to substitute. So I'm going to substitute, we're going to take the square root of x2, which we said was 11, minus x1, which is negative 1, squared, plus, Now we have y2, which is negative 7 minus negative 2 squared equals, we have the square root of, it is 11 plus 1. Remember, minus a negative becomes plus, so plus 1 squared, plus negative 7 plus 2 squared. No, you don't need to show that step, but I just wanted to remind you how those operators work. So 11 plus 1 is 12 squared, plus negative 7 plus 2 is negative 5 squared. 12 squared is 144, plus negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. Add those together, we get 169. Take the square root, because this is a perfect square, and so we get 13. All right, let's try another one. So example 2. Again, we have our formula, d equals the square root, the change in x's, so x2 minus x1 squared, plus the change in y, y2 minus y1 squared. I like to label my points. So this is x1, and we'll call this one x2. Then we have y1 and y2. We're going to substitute into our formula. So we have 20 minus 8 squared plus 30 minus 14 squared. Be very careful when you substitute those in that you're putting x2 first or y2 first, so be very careful. You need to make sure you're consistent. So then we have 20 minus 8, which is 12 squared, plus 30 minus 14, which is 16 squared. Square root of 144 plus 256 equals the square root of 400, which is 20. Triangle XYZ has vertices X, Y, and Z. Is triangle XYZ scalene, isosceles, or equilateral? Remember, scalene is all different side lengths. Isosceles is two sides are congruent, and equilateral is where all three sides are congruent. So we are actually going to use the distance formula to find all of the different sides of our triangle, X, Y, and Z. We're going to find each of these distances individually. So we could find XY, we could find YZ, and we could find ZX using our distance formula. All right, let's start by finding XY. So we're going to use X and we're going to use Y. Use our distance formula, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. We're going to substitute in our values. Let's call x2 13. So if we have 13 minus x1 is 2 squared plus y2, which is negative 4, minus negative 2 squared. Now we need to simplify. So we have 11 squared plus negative 4 minus negative 2. Subtracting is like adding the opposite. So we have negative 2 squared. 11 squared is 121 plus negative 2 squared is 4. Gives us a square root of 125. 125 is not a perfect square, so we can leave it with that radical. Next, we're going to look at YZ. YZ. Again, using our distance formula, we always start with the formula, x squared, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. I am going to call x2 13. So 13 minus 8 squared plus negative 4 minus 6 squared. Can't forget the square root. Now let's simplify. So we have the square root of 5 squared plus negative 10 squared results in the square root of 25 plus 100, which is the square root of 125. Again, 125 is not a perfect square, so I can leave it like this for now. I can already see I have two side lengths that are congruent, which means I can eliminate scalene because they are not all going to be different. We still have to check our last side length, which is xz. Using the distance formula, square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Substitute in our values. I'm going to call x2 8 minus 2 squared plus y2 is 6 minus negative 2 squared. We have 8 minus 2 is 6 squared plus 6 minus negative 2 is 8 squared. 6 squared is 36 plus 8 squared is 64, which is the square root of 100, which ends up being 10. I can now tell I have two sides that are congruent, which means I have an isosceles. We can now derive the formula for a circle. And we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem along with our distance formula to find the equation of a circle. So here in our diagram, we have some different things that we need to point out. Here we have our 2 points, this point here, which is HK, and this point out here, which we're going to call XY. And then we have our distance, and we're going to call that R. Okay. Now, we talked about before that c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. That's the Pythagorean theorem. And we talked about earlier today that we can call this distance change in x, and we can call this distance our change in y. So here we're going to call, instead of c squared, that's going to be r squared based on what we're given in this triangle, equals a squared is change in x squared plus our b squared is our change in y squared. Now we can be even more specific, so we still know that our r squared. We remember that before we called our change in x, x2 minus x1 squared, and we had our change in y as y2 minus y1 squared. Based on the information here, we're calling the center of our circle h, k. So instead of x1 and y1, I'm going to call it the center. So h and x. It will end up looking like this. R squared is equal to x minus h from that center squared plus the y value that we're given minus our k value squared, which is truly the equation of a circle. R squared, radius squared, is equal to x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. The h and the k come from the center point. And yes, this is a formula you want to make sure that you have memorized, and you can use the circle song to help you, to the tune of Call Me Maybe. R squared will equal x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. I know it, hooray. And if you want to sing to the tune, go for it. Okay, so now let's look at some examples. So number 1, write the equation of the circle given the center is at 2, 4 and the radius is 7. So we're going to use our formula. R squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. We're going to substitute what we know. So we were given that the radius is 7. So 7 squared equals, our center is 2, negative 4. Remember, the center is h comma k. So we're going to do x minus h is 2 squared, plus y minus k minus negative 4 is the same thing as y plus 4 squared. From here, you do need to simplify just the 7 squared. So 7 squared is 49, and that equals, we're just going to bring everything else down, x minus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared. All right, let's take a look at another example. Find the center and the radius of the circle. So now it's given here, and we're going to first find the radius. And we're going to remember that it's equal to the radius squared. So the square root of 36 is 6. Then we're going to find our center using the fact that we have x plus 2 and y minus 5. So our center is at negative 2, comma 5. Remember in our formula, the way that I get that negative 2 is this is really x minus negative 2 squared. So the negative 2 is the x value. And since this is y minus 5, we know it's just a positive 5. Let's take a look at 2 more examples. So example 3, write the equation of the circle given the center and the radius. Again, r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. We're going to substitute in what we know. Radius is 13 squared equals x minus h. Remember, our center is h comma k. So we have negative 5 minus negative 5 squared plus y minus k. K is 8 squared. Now we do need to simplify. So 13 squared is 169 equals, we don't like to have two symbols minus a negative. That's the same thing as x plus 5 squared plus y minus 8 squared. And that would be our final equation. Let's look at number 4. Find the center and the radius of the circle. So let's start by looking at the radius. Remember, this is r squared. Square root of 121 is 11. And we need to look at our center. So I can see that the x value here is 4. If I need to find the y value, all I see is y squared. But let's recall that y squared, I could call that y minus 0 squared because that's the same thing. So the y value or the k value of the center is 0.